are ready to fly. Good morning, everyone, again. I hope you enjoyed last evening, for those who attended. And I hope next time when the Seesof will invite us again, we will prepare something a little bit different, maybe, and we'll surprise with something else. So, welcome to the second day of the conference of the Seesof 2025. Today we will have two panels. First of it, it's about women in combat, women in command. But before to pass the microphone to our moderator, according with the Romanian song, actually, I think this panel is about our better half in our lives. So, I will pass the microphone to Colonel Manuela Mihai, who will be the moderator for the panel. Thank you very much, and I hope to enjoy the panels for today.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends, good morning. For the beginning, I would like to welcome you at our panel, Women in Combat, Women in Command. And also, please allow me to express my entire gratitude and our appreciation to Major General Claudiu Dobocan for inviting us and putting this domain on the agenda. Thank you very much, sir. Briefly, a few things about me. I've started my career 20 years ago in Brașov. I was a legal advisor in Mountain Troops, 2nd Mountain Troops Brigade, when I've learned a lot. And I think starting from tactical level is the best way to achieve our objectives. In 2017, I was nominated as legal advisor in our first NATO headquarters established in Romania. And my main domain was to establish and to prepare legal framework to implement supplementary agreement of Paris Protocol in order to welcome our nation partners in Romania. In 2018, I was nominated as Chief of Gender Management Office in Ministry of National Defense, and also I was nominated as National Focal Point on Women, Peace and Security. My main job was to coordinate the implementation of Women, Peace and Security agenda. But for all of you, what is Women, Peace and Security agenda? It is about protecting women in conflict zones, protecting women in refugee camps, and also promoting women on leadership positions, promoting women within the security sector and peace negotiation process. In our days, gender inequalities continue to manifest at all levels, and also in areas such as access to decision, leadership, balanced distribution of roles and responsibilities in the security and defense sector. Romania, from a legal perspective, promotes and supports fair and balanced access at all hierarchical levels for men and women, military or civilian personnel, to both leading and executive positions with the observance of complying the performance selection criteria. We currently have no limitation as regard the access of women to any services. Distinguished guests, we need to stand by our commitments to continue at national and international level, promoting women's rights and equal participation in all spheres of societies as a contribution to consolidating democratic values and resilient societies. For achieving our goals, we need support from political and military leadership. And very important, we need to identify and we need to stand by our gender champions. One of our gender champions is invited today to deliver an opening message as keynote speaker. Please, slide number 2, thank you very much. Serving within the Romanian Ministry of National Defense for 25 years, Director Simona Cojocaru has always found the strength and power to promote and protect women and to champion for women, peace and security agenda. She is currently holding the position of Director of the Defense Policy Directorate, and previously she was State Secretary and Chief of the Department for Defense Policy, Planning and International Relations. Director Cojocaru holds a degree in economics, graduating the Faculty of International Economic Relations within the Academy of Economic Studies in Bucharest, and a master's degree in international relations and European integration at the National School of Political and Administrative Studies, Bucharest. She has also completed multiple courses of international relations training at important schools abroad. She is a real model for all women in the Ministry of National Defense, and I personally consider that by having her as keynote speaker, our panel has become much stronger. Without any other comments, I invite Director Simona Cojocaru to deliver her speech. Director, the floor is yours.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, good morning. I'm absolutely very much honored to be this morning with you, and I would like to thank organizers for inviting me to this first ever and first class forum. Congratulations. Yesterday we had a fantastic opening and panels, and of course an amazing concert. Thank you very much for making this real here in Târgu Mureș. Thank you for the warm welcome. It is always good to be back here. And this is the last day, and I really think that it is an important, very, very much important, the Women, Peace and Security agenda was not left out, thus mirroring the acknowledgements of this topic to almost every debate. So, ladies and gentlemen, today Europe is not at peace. Deterrence constitutes a fundamental principle in the realm of international relations. And since 2022, deterrence and defense have enriched themselves as the core values of NATO on the eastern flank by a credible military presence and readiness. The security landscape is dominated by persistent Russian threat and disorder at global level, with increasingly fluid relations among states. Russia is the most significant and direct threat to Euro-Atlantic security, and it is going to remain chronic. And the war in Ukraine is a comprehensive conflict, and we need comprehensive deterrence. This is precisely why Romania continues to advocate for sustained allied unity, enhanced deterrence, and a coherent strategic presence in the Black Sea, recognizing that what happens in Ukraine does not stop at Ukraine borders, but directly shaping the broader security architecture of Europe and transatlantic security. So we cannot ignore the basic realities of geopolitics and geostrategy. NATO ecosystem is under pressure. So what is our answer? A stronger, fairer, and more lethal alliance and deterrence. A combination of military, diplomatic, and economic strategic tools. 4,000 military foreign troops in Romania deployed right now. Romania having, for the first time ever, holding the command of 2 EU missions operations, one EUFOR Althea in Bosnia-Herzegovina, the other in Central African Republic. MCM Black Sea, the demining mission with Bulgaria and Turkey. HQ Regional Special Operation Forces. Battle groups and other very important contributions. You are wondering themselves why I have started my intervention this morning with these considerations. Since the topic is women in combat, women in command, because this is my job. Because this is the job of many women, F-16, C-17, women pilots, battalion commanders, infantry personnel, or political military advisor. This is the job right now of brave Ukrainian women defending their country. This is our job right now, performing deterrence and defense on the eastern flank. And as I said, this is very much about women in uniform or civilians. So for me today, this morning, it is a professional responsibility and a personal honor to speak in front of you. Not just a representative of the Department of Defense Policy in Romanian Ministry of Defense, but as a woman who has had the privilege of serving my country for nearly 3 decades. Not just a leader in the defense community, but as a woman who has spent more than 3 decades walking the corridors of defense institutions, briefing rooms, high-level international meetings, where, up to a point and to a time, the words security and defense were imagined without women having a part. Representation, ladies and gentlemen, is not a box to check. It is a lens we apply to every decision we make. Likewise, women, peace, and security agenda is not a side project. It is a must, and it must translate into voices being heard and shaping decisions. Today, we have together the privilege together to reflect on this agenda, not as an obligation, but as an opportunity. Throughout my career, I have seen the strategic value of integrating gender perspectives into defense and security, not just a matter of principle, but as a matter of operational effectiveness, resilience, and long-term peace building. Romania's path within women, peace, and security reflects our belief that leadership is stronger when it includes women voices, and that security is more effective when it is inclusive. Back in 2018, we made a bold institutional choice. The Ministry of National Defense assumed national leadership for WPS agenda, creating Gender Management Office and designating a dedicated national focal point. Our moderator today is very much involved in this endeavor, and most probably she is going to go into more depth. But I would like to underline very clearly that this structure is not symbolic. This is strategic. It is embedded in our policies, reporting lines, decision-making structures, and most importantly, our culture of command. In 2024, we have adopted the second National Strategy and National Action Plan on WPS for the timeframe 2024-2028. And this document is also not only an administrative roadmap, it is a reflection of a national view and our ambition. And the plan rests on 5 pillars: mainstreaming gender into all defense and security policies, promoting women's participation in peace processes and missions, preventing and combating gender-based violence and discrimination, ensuring assistance and recovery, and the last one, strengthening collaboration with civil society. So each pillar reflects a deep understanding that sustainable peace is not built through power alone, but through participation, protection, and partnership. So we have invested in institutional architecture with gender advisors appointed in every military unit, annual monitoring reports coordinated by a national implementation group, and a dedicated platform for transparency and evaluation. We have understood clearly that the data drive accountability, and accountability sustain trust. This trust was recognized internationally. Back in 2023, Romania had the honor to co-chair the UN Human Peace and Security focal points network along with United States. We hosted the annual conference in Bucharest and contributed substantially, not just financially, but intellectually and politically to shaping the agenda and defining the role of the national focal points globally. This March also our colleagues brought together our network of gender advisors from across the country for a landmark event, the Conference of the Ministry of National Defense Gender Advisors, which also marked the official launch of She for Romania campaign, which I really consider has been an exceptional effort. So this initiative is more than a slogan. It is a commitment to build an inclusive institution where talent, not gender, defines potential. Today, every military unit in Romania includes a gender advisor in the table of organization and equipment, reinforcing the principle that equal access to leadership is not aspirational, it is operational. I'd like to extend my congratulations to you, Colonel Manuela Mihai, Chief of the Gender Management Office, for your excellent effort and work in this field. So, ladies and gentlemen, WPS is also about endurance. When the war broke out in Ukraine, we didn't hesitate. We activated the fourth pillar, assistance and recovery, with purpose and speed. Working with Ministry of Internal Affairs, we ensured that refugee camps were gender sensitive, that women's safety and dignity were preserved, and that our personnel, military, civilian, volunteers were trained, monitored, and guided by a clear code of conduct. So I really think that leadership, especially in crisis, is not about hierarchy. It is about empathy, clarity, and courage. And I think this is the kind of leadership we need more, and it is the kind of leadership women bring. In communities shattered by violence, women rebuild trust. In negotiation, women bring alternative solutions and long-term thinking. In operations, women help address root causes, not just surface threats. So, in the Romanian Ministry of National Defense, 23% of personnel are women, military and civilians, and we are very much proud of the progress. In international missions, 12% of deployed personnel are women, and I think we can and must do more. This is why we are working through strategic planning, dedicated recruitment, and targeted mentorship to create real pipelines for female talent. Because the future of security, which is growing with its growing reliance of cyber, artificial intelligence, technological innovation, demands diversity, not only of identity but of perspective. And moreover, Romania is currently drafting legal procedures to implement accountability and disciplinary mechanisms to reinforce zero tolerance to any form of abuse, bullying, harassment in the defense sector. This is not compliance with international standards, it is an expression of our national values. As a NATO member, we are reminded of the remarkable ability of the alliance to adapt and evolve, all while staying true to the values that define us. And I really think that one of the powerful examples of this evolution is our deep and unwavering commitment to the Women, Peace and Security agenda. As Irene Fellin, the Secretary General's Special Representative for WPS, rightly stated, and let me quote, "Standing up for and helping advance the rights and participation of women in defense and security is very much at the heart of who we are and what we do as individuals, as nations, and collectively as an alliance." Today, I want to echo in front of you her words and share some reflections of NATO's new policy in this area, an integral part of implementing 2022 NATO strategic concept. This policy recognizes that threats are evolving, so must our responses. For the first time, NATO has committed to addressing emerging challenges, such as gender disinformation and technology-facilitated gender-based violence, including cyber harassment, hate speech, and misuse of images and videos. It has also integrated gender perspective at strategic levels through the appointment of gender advisors and development of gender-responsive planning. So as we navigate the risks and opportunities posed by new technologies, from drone warfare and cyber attacks to generative artificial intelligence, we must ensure our policies reflect the different ways these threats impact our populations. Our goal is not only to strengthen defense and deterrence, but to do so in a way that actively mitigates gender inequalities. So, as I have spoken to you about what to do at national level, also at NATO level in this field, I would like also to share a few thoughts coming from my personal experience. When I joined the Ministry of National Defense, so many, many years ago, and particularly the department when I served as a civil servant, Romania was on the path to NATO. Those were very different times. I was one of the handful of women in a department whose role was crucial in the process of Romania joining NATO. And it was us, alongside men, who have worked passionately and efficiently on the objectives set at national level. And yes, if you are wondering, there were also moments in my career that could have discouraged me in pushing further. They did not succeed. But they did teach me this: presence is not the same as action. Women have been present in defense for years, but now they are leading in many fields, and it is changing every day. We live in a world, as I said, of evolving threats, conventional, hardware, military threats, hybrid warfare, disinformation, weaponization of migration, climate insecurity. These are not just security and defense issues. They intersect with the lived experiences of women and girls, often emphasizing vulnerabilities, but also revealing their critical role in resilience and recovery. It is, if you like, on the one hand about leadership and representation, while on the other hand about accountability and evaluation. Words must be matched by actions, and actions must be matched by evidence. We must measure what we value, and that includes gender equality. Let me be very clear: implementing women, peace and security agenda is not simply about women. It is about smarter security and defense. It is about acknowledging that sustainable peace cannot be built if women are left out of the process. I also want to underline the importance of resilience, since we are going also to talk about this topic in the next panel. So resilience not just on the battlefield, but in our institutions. So throughout my career, I have seen many young women in defense wondering if they belong, if there is a place for their voice. Let me say that there is not just a place for you. We need you. Your voice, your perspective, your leadership is part of what will make our institutions and at large our society stronger and smarter. Because, ladies and gentlemen, leadership is about inspiring others and unlocking the potential of force multiplication and the hearts of those that are following you. As the first woman to serve as State Secretary for Defense Policy, Planning and International Relations from 2019 to April 2025, I have never forgotten that the barriers I have faced are less important than the bridges I built. The Women, Peace and Security Agenda is more than a commitment. It is a strategic doctrine for this century, one where gender equality is not only a moral compass, but a tactical advantage. Romania stands ready with ideas, with resources, with resolve to build a safer world through inclusive leadership. So in closing, I want to issue a challenge to all of us. Let us stop thinking on women, peace and security as a program to support. Let us approach it as we should, as a security principle to uphold. And only then, when it becomes a principle fully grasped and acknowledged, it will be embedded where it belongs, at the core of our collective credibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Director Simona Cojocaru. You have shown us for so many times how important it is to be professional and to be committed in putting words in actions. Thank you very much again. Moving forward to our panel, Women in Combat, Women in Command, I am extremely honored to moderate a dialogue with our speakers, experimented ladies from different fields of expertise. Our guests are invited on the scene: Prison Police Brigadier Ioana Morar, Romanian National Administration of Penitentiaries, please ma'am, Professor Mihaela Cardos, George Emil Palade, University of Medicine, Pharmacy, Science and Technology, Târgu Mureș, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Cosmina Gabriela Moldovan, Ministry of Internal Affairs, and our Lieutenant Commander, Romina Mârza, Ministry of National Defense. So, thank you very much. Dear ladies, distinguished audience, please allow me to express my entire gratitude for this panel. We will have two parts. The institutional one, where I kindly invite our guests to present a short radiography of female presence within their institution, and the second one, where we will talk about you, your career, challenges, and visions. Furthermore, I need to recognize that I was really impressed by their extraordinary biographies, and I need to share them with you. Slide number 3, please. Driven mid-career leader in public service with an experience acquired in more than 21 years, Prison Police Brigadier Ioana Mihaela Morar is currently Deputy Director General in National Prison Administration. Her academic background includes also a recent Fulbright exchange for mid-career leaders in public service in United States, University of Minnesota, and 2 master's degrees in law and sociology, complementary to her bachelor degree in psychology. Her studies enabled her to acquire an in-depth understanding of prison population and a comprehensive knowledge on the main problems and current debates relating to detention and criminal justice system, both in professional and academic realms. In the same context, as Associate Professor at Bucharest University, as Regional Representative for Eastern Europe in Steering Committee of the European Prison Education Association, and Committee of the and Europees Board member, Dr. Morar promoted the importance of good practices that should migrate at European and international level for the reform of prisons in terms of evolution of the prison management and of the treatment provided for persons deprived of liberty in the line with international standards. She is also one of our reliable partners in promoting women, peace and security agenda at a national and international level. Brigadier, we invite you to speak about female presence within National Administration of Penitentiaries. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Good morning, distinguished guests, dear colleagues. It is a distinct honor and pleasure at the same time to attend this incredible event, joining forces, believing with strength in the fact that cooperation is the key to our success. If we bring to the table our best assets, then the results will measure our involvement, our endeavor. And now, because we are also celebrating this year 20 years since the UN 1325 resolution on women, peace and security, I will also strengthen the fact that on the prison side, this year is the year of celebrating 10 years since the UN Mandela Rules and 15 years since the Bangkok Rules adoption. Indeed, quite a spectacular year to celebrate all these UN efforts related to international standards and to the line of work I am today representing. The introduction was incredible, and thank you for that. Nevertheless, I am more a woman of deeds, I would say, than of words. So I would quickly slide or shift to the work that we are doing as a prison system, considering that such system, traditionally male-dominated system, is also a system where women bring the best to the field of the assistance of persons deprived of liberty, considering that this is an important effort to the safety of the community and of the society. Out of the 13,000 staff members, approximately 30% are representing women, and mostly and mainly women working in direct line assisting inmates. That means educational programs, psychological assistance, social assistance, medical assistance. That means that around 30% of the staff are daily contributing to the efforts of reducing reoffending and thus to contributing to a safer society and community for all of us. And you will say that, of course, it's a system, a custodial system, but the main function of the prison system is the function of education and preparing for release. And when the state decides to make a person serve a sentence for their wrong deeds and for breaking the justice and the social norms, of course, everything related to their rehabilitation stands, as I mentioned, in the hands, in the minds, in the efforts of 30% women of the prison system staff. So everything related to their work means studying, understanding the behavior of the offenders, and creating and implementing programs that are conducing to effective rehabilitation. These kinds of efforts were also conducive for creating the first strategy for facilitating social rehabilitation in Romania in 2015 for 5 years. Such a strategy was for the first time in Romania adopted through government decision. Later on, a similar strategy allowed us to have an interinstitutional mechanism to work and create change related to the behavior of inmates and to their preparation for release. And nowadays, a few days ago, actually, Romanian government approved the first strategy for reducing reoffending in Romania, which will also involve interinstitutional work, such as the work that at a certain scale, in a different department, in a different line of work, we are all doing as representative of the Justice Minister, with you, representatives of the National Defense Ministry. There are many things to say, but of course, I will echo the words of Simona Cojocaru, saying that empathy is absolutely necessary in our line of business, and that having empathy as a trait and as a behavior, we will definitely bring the most of our experience and the best of the results that we can deliver as a public service in the commands of all citizens of Romania, men and women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brigadier, for your extraordinary intervention. Moving further. Slide number 4, please. Mihaela Cardos. She's a university professor specialized in international business and strategic management, bringing over 20 years of academic experience to her current role as Vice Rector for International Relations, University Networks, and Public Relations at George Emil Palade University of Medicine, Pharmacy, Science and Technology of Târgu Mureș. Her bachelor and doctoral studies in international business and economics are complemented by 4 master programs in European studies, public administration, political management, communication, as well as international courses in project management and change management. She has coordinated more than 25 events and conferences. She also represents the university in the executive board of the Diverse European University Alliance, contributing to the strategic direction of a network of leading institutions, and is also an expert evaluator for the Romanian Agency for Quality Assurance in Higher Education. Prior to her university career, Mihaela Cardos developed her skills in European and international affairs while working at local public authorities and in the Ministry of European Integration. She also served as the County Council representative at the Brussels office, gaining first-hand experience in the complexities of European policy and international collaboration. Beyond her academic and administrative duties, Mihaela Cardos is a prolific researcher, reviewer, and author of 4 books and more than 35 articles in academic journals. Vice Rector. In the context of the university role in training military doctors, how do you see the representation and impact of women? What are the benefits of feminine presence and leadership in the military medicine, but also in other fields?
First of all, let me say that I'm really honored to be here at this panel and at this conference together with these distinguished ladies and talking about such an important subject. Because for me, coming from the university, the title of this panel can have 2 different meanings. We can talk about women in military, but I think that we can also talking about feminine leadership and extend that to a more overall approach. And regarding the first aspect, I can proudly talk about our university partnership and cooperation of 35 years with the Medical Military Institute. We have a history of tradition in training military doctors, and this is very important for our institution. And over time, we have witnessed an increasing number of young women pursuing this career. And I looked in our records, and I was so impressed by the fact that each year the number of women graduating our medical and for military program outnumbers men. And I think that this is very important, and I was never in favor of talking about gender equality per se. But I think that these numbers demonstrate how important it is to have women in all fields, also in military fields, in doctors in military domain, because these women have all the qualities that are necessary for these jobs. But in addition to those who are specific for people working in military or students training for a military career, such as rigor and determination and resilience, I see in these young females and students training in medical military compassion, because I see them engaged in different academic activities and also dedication. And I think that this is very important for providing care in combat scenarios today, because as had been discussed in the conference yesterday, it is we are living now very challenging times, and the presence of women brings diversity, and that enhances effectiveness and adaptability, and this is very inspiring for everybody. And having this academic background, I always like to talk about things from a very evidence-based research perspective and to talk about specific results. And there are a lot of studies which highlight the fact that women excel in the so-called creative dimensions of leadership. And these are relating and authenticity and self and system awareness and achieving. And just to say in one sentence something about all this, that means women have the ability to connect to others in such a meaningful way. They look for the greater good. They look to bring the best out of people and organization, also having vision and purpose and looking for specific results. And these studies that I'm talking about, they are not only statistics, because we can see this in practice. And basically, this proves women's contribution, and this is valid for all fields, whether we talk about military doctors or women in military in general, or to any kind of domain. And just a final thought, to talk also about our university. And as I said, it is very important to see that science is translated into practice. And in the management of our university, from 9 vice-rectors, 7 are women. And from the 7 faculties that this university has, from the 7 deans, 4 are also women. So actually, statistics transforms into reality and practice. And I'm not really sure if the rector of our university has read these studies, but maybe just to give a reason for this situation, I would like to end with a quote by Margaret Thatcher, who said that if you want a job to be done, then ask a woman.
Thank you so much, Madam. While we are presenting our next speaker, I invite our colleague to put a short movie. Deputy Commissioner of Police Cosmina Gabriela Moldovan She started her career in the Romanian police in 2012 as police agent within the Special Operation Brigade Târgu Mureș. In 2022, she became police inspector within surveillance unit. In 2022, she has joined the Organized Crime Investigation Brigade Târgu Mureș Drug Enforcement Service. During her career, she has graduated many courses, and I will present you a few. Operational surveillance, police community relations in a multicultural environment, tactical training course. She graduated law faculty, a master in human resources management, and currently she is studying faculty of psychology. Deputy Commissioner, we invite you to speak about female presence within the Romanian Police and Ministry of Internal Affairs. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today. Distinguished guests, fellow officers, and respected colleagues, it's a great honor to stand before you today, not only as a police officer, but as a woman proud to serve her country and her community. So we gather here under the powerful theme Women in Combat, Women in Command, a phrase that resonates deeply with all of us who have chosen a life of service and courage to have the strength to fight for what we believe and stand for. In Romania, the journey of women in Ministry of Internal Affairs and Law Enforcement has seen a meaningful evolution, especially since the year 2000. Before 2000, the ministry was a male-dominated structure with few women in operational field or command positions. Women mainly were in auxiliary and administrative roles. Romania's accession to NATO and the European Union triggered institutional reforms that included clear commitments to gender equality and human rights. In this period, more and more women entered the police academies and training schools for police agents, having equal opportunity to enter in this line of work. I want to point out this aspect because before that, there were limited places for women at police academy admissions. The presence of women in the police force is mandatory in the investigation of serious crimes and sensitive ones such as child abuse, human trafficking, child pornography or rape, because we have to deal with vulnerable individuals. So in these sensitive cases, female officers significantly contribute to the investigation as they often show greater empathy and communication skills, which are essential for resolving these sensitive cases. Also, the legislation specifically requires that certain action need to be done by female women, and I'm talking about body searches. This is mandatory to be done by individuals of the same gender. Today, women serve in frontline operation, mission abroad, criminal investigation, counterterrorism, and drug fighting. At present, within the Ministry of Internal Affairs, there are approximately 98,000 men and 26 women employed, so an estimated 20% of women. Out of this, 1,124 women and 9,000 men hold command position. So we see like 10% in a command position. I want to say that this progress since 2000 is not just in numbers. It's about women recognition. Women are no longer seen as an exception in the force. We are part of its very foundation. Romanian society has grown to appreciate the strength of a policewoman presence, firm, fair, and focused. To speak about the role of women in the police force is also to speak with respect about all women, whether they serve in uniform, lead in government, raise families, run businesses, or advocate for justice. Women carry the weight of transformation in their shoulders. We build, we heal, we protect. So let us not forget the women who came before us, who opened doors in time when they were told to stay silent or stand back. Let's honor the women beside us and let us pave the way for those who will come after us. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your wonderful statement. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished audience, while you see this movie, I want to tell you a few things. When we speak nowadays about women in combat, our thoughts go immediately to one of the most emblematic figures of female in the armed forces. Lieutenant Commander Romina Mârza, first female F-16 pilot in Romania. Her career no pressure. Her career started at age of 14 in military high school Alba Iulia, where she graduated as top of the class of 2009. Moreover, she graduated top of the class in 2012 from Henry Coandă Air Force Academy. She graduated Inter-European Squadron Officer School, Germany, and Air Command and Staff College, Maxwell Air University, Alabama, United States. As civilian education, she has a bachelor degree from Faculty of Political, Administrative and Communication Sciences and master's degree in Security Management in Contemporary Society. In 2019, because there is more, in 2019, she became Romania's first female operational pilot to perform air policing missions under NATO command within the MiG-21 Lancer. Her current position is Flight Commander, 48th Fighter Squadron, 71st Air Base, General Emanuel Ionescu, Câmpia Turzii. Lieutenant Commander, we invite you to speak about female presence within Romanian Air Forces. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for this introduction. I'm proud and happy to be here today and to represent the women across the Romanian Air Force. And I'd like to begin by presenting a short history of women in Romanian aviation. So I think it's important to understand where we started from and where we got. So let's begin with the early 1900s, when aviation itself was still an experiment. Some Romanian women dared to challenge mentalities and gained their pilot license. We have names such as Smaranda Brăescu, Mariana Drăgescu, Elena Caragiani. These women made history. For example, Smaranda Brăescu was the first European female pilot who got her license in the United States in 1932. That's a major achievement for those times. And she was also the first female parachutist of Romania in the same times. When the Second World War started, these women decided to enroll in Royal Romanian Air Force, and their squadron was called the White Squadron. Through their courage, they evacuated more than 9,000 wounded soldiers because they flew mainly air evacuation, medical evacuation missions, and also reconnaissance missions along the entire eastern border from Bessarabia to Stalingrad and Crimea. Romania was the only country in the Second World War which had a squadron formed entirely by women. During the communist era, military aviation was dominated exclusively by men, but after Romania became a democracy, things started to change, and there was room for more equality. In 2001, the Air Force Academy welcomed its first generation of female pilots. Not long after, Simona Măiărean was the first female pilot to fly a supersonic jet. Over the years, more and more women have joined the military academy. Nowadays, we have women flying supersonic jets, helicopters, cargo, and trainer aircraft. Some of them are instructors, others are operational pilots flying air policing missions under NATO command, cross-border exercises with our neighboring countries, and other international exercises and missions. According to human resources statistics, 8% of Romanian pilots are women. Until now, I've talked only about military pilots, or about pilots, but I want to be clear that in the Romanian Air Force, there are women across the entire field, not only in the cockpit. 19% of the total personnel in the Romanian Air Force is represented by women. That include officers, NCOs, technicians, and civilian personnel across the entire ranks and specialties. They are actively involved in daily duty, but also in international missions. Romania's main accomplishment in NATO missions include the deployment of Sucat helicopters to Bosnia for Operation Althea, leading Kabul International Airport operation, Baltic air policing mission with MiG-21 Lancer and with the F-16, and peacekeeping operation in Mali. From the Air Force, 5% of the personnel involved in overseas mission are women. In conclusion, women are part of the Air Force family. As long as everyone does their job and carries out their responsibilities, it doesn't really matter if you are a man or a woman. We are a cohesive team, continuously working together to accomplish the mission of Romanian Air Force, defending Romania and NATO's airspace integrity. And I'm proud to be part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Commander. And I want to highlight that last month, Air Force Commander told me that women are part of the Air Force family, which is great. Moving further, from institutional to personal perspective, I have prepared a set of common questions for all of you, ladies, and I will kindly ask you to answer to them in the same order. The guiding questions are: please describe your job, position, name one of two difficulties, challenges you have faced and the way you have solved them. Why did you choose your career? What was the most difficult moment in your career and how did you manage to overcome? And have you ever wanted to quit or change your profession? The floor is yours, Brigadier.
Well, I will answer first. As indicated by our moderator, I am the Deputy General Director of the Romanian prison system, which means around 13,000 inmates, staff members, and 25,000 inmates. My main responsibilities are related to the assistance area, which means coordinating at the level of the top management of the prison system, the social reintegration department, the medical assistance department, the ITNC department, everything else related to safety at work and management of emergency situations. Now, the beauty of this presentation is that I have started my career as a psychologist 20 years ago, well, more than 20 years ago, but I will state that it's 20 years. And I have worked for many years as a psychologist on a maximum security prison. But being a product of the Babes-Bolyai University and being very good at evidence-based practices, even from those times, step by step, I started to develop many or several programs for assisting and for developing pro-social skills and for reducing violence and the risk of suicide. And one step led to the other, and I have been promoted as Director of Social Reintegration Department, and then Deputy General Director, and then General Director Interim at the level of the headquarters in Bucharest. I never thought of quitting. This is easy. That's not my style, regardless of or irrespective of the obstacles presented in my path. I never quit. That makes me even more ambitious to overcome that. And what I think made the difference in my personal career is the fact that I had, let's say, complementary skills related or based on my profession that helped me a lot in the management work I do. And that's something that I truly appreciate when skills belonging to my trade are actually very well supporting my management responsibilities. And what also helped me is the fact that I never ask to my team members or of my team things I have never or previously done. So the first thing is that I have expectations from me, and I'm leading by example, and I also believe that I am a servant leader, so everything I do at work is actually serving the community, serving through the work that I do our country. And if I would think of a quote that truly inspired me along the years, that's definitely a quote belonging to a president of USA. Don't ask yourself what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And at a smaller scale, that also applies to my line of work. I firstly ask what I can do for my job, for my headquarters, for the ministry I belong, and this is the kind of energy that gives me ideas and persistence and determination despite small or large, depends, obstacles that may occur in the path of each one in the room, and of course, that's something that we can all relate to. But no, I never quit.
Great. Vice Rector, please.
Thank you. You have already heard different things about my career. I'm a university professor. I serve now as the Vice Rector of the university. I'm in charge with international relations based on my academic background, but also my experience working in local and national administration and in the Brussels office. And I think I will start answering all those questions with the last one about the idea of quitting. I don't think that quitting is an option. And maybe all of you who are here in the room know that better than me. Because life is not about quitting, life is about fighting till the end. And I think this is one of the guiding principles in my personal and also in my career. And this is the thing that I also tell my students, and I also tell my son, that you have to think very well first to decide, and once you have decided, you have to fight and go until the end. There is no option for quitting. What are the solutions of overcoming obstacles? Of course, in all of our careers, we have encountered them. And I'm sure you all know that there are no magic tricks. It's just hard work and education. I think these are the key words for this. And actually, today is the Teachers' Day, 5th of June. So I think we have to celebrate people who are working in education, but people who are interested in learning all the time, because we never cease to learn. And I don't think that life or any other perspectives in career, we have to be judged only by the peaks or only by those excellent moments or performances. Because I think we have to learn and work every day, and the next day, or again, learn and work, and every day the same thing. So I think this could be said in just a few words, and the motto that has driven me always is a Latin quote, which is said, per aspera ad astra, and it means through hardships you can reach the stars. And I saw this quote last year. I was visiting the NASA quarter in the States, and I see this is also written at the entrance where all the spaceships are launched. And I really believe that if we have high dreams, as I said, through education and work, we can achieve them. Thank you.
Deputy Commissioner.
Thank you. Like I said before, I am a Deputy Commissioner in Drug Unit, Moldovan Cosmina. I worked for the first 10 years at Special Operation Brigade here in Târgu Mureș in the surveillance service. So I'm not a woman of words. I'm a woman who steps behind you and observes you more. So this challenge to transfer to organized crime brigade was the most difficult for me, because for the first 10 years I was mostly invisible, and then I had to directly interact with the offenders and drug dealers. So yeah, this is and still is very challenging. And in 2023, when I first entered at the Organized Crime Brigade, I was the only female at this brigade. We were total 6, but 5 of them were in child care. So I had to learn more and more about, not just about the drug unit, but also about human trafficking, money laundering, and terrorism. So yes, it was quite challenging. I believe this career is a vocational one. Just like military service, just like medical service or teaching. So I didn't choose to become a police officer. It was just meant to be. About this line of work, I believe the motto is adjust and adapt every single day, because as we all see, this kind of work with drug trafficking, it's quite difficult, because they have the technology by their side. So yeah, we have to adapt every single day. And also, I never think of quitting, but I think we have to improve more. I want to talk about a case from last year. It involved female minors from 13 to 16 years old. They were attracted and emotionally manipulated by a drug dealer. He made them fall in love with him, even he had 30 years old. And unfortunately, he gave them drugs and abused them. And after many hours of work and investigating, I'm honored to say that we catch him, and now he's in prison. So I think this was the most important case for me, because I believe that we have to protect minors, especially female minors, and we have to do more for them. That's why I believe this work has to be in collaboration with psychiatrists, psychological team, and experts in the field, so we can save them and to do more for them. I think this is the job, to make a safer place for the ones who came after us. Thank you so much.
Impressive. Lieutenant Commander, please.
Thank you. I want to start with a question. Can anyone tell me, how do you recognize a pilot in a group? He will tell you. Exactly. He's going to tell you, or she. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a fighter pilot. Call sign Chaos. I'm part of the 48th Fighting Squadron based at Câmpia Turzii. My main job is to fly, to be ready and trained to defend our country. Into the squadron, I also have a flight commander position. That implies some admin responsibilities, way less interesting and satisfying than flying, so I'll skip that description for the moment. About flying, how do we stay ready? My squadron is trained to execute different kinds of missions. Air-to-air, for example. We fly dogfights, tactical intercepts, air combat training. All of them are flown in tactical scenarios with threats replicating real-life adversaries. Also, we fly air-to-ground because the F-16 is a multi-role fighter. Our air-to-surface training, some of them are simulated attacks, and others are real ordnance, real weapons delivery in different ranges across Romania. We take part in different international exercises in order to improve our interoperability with the NATO partners. And also we execute the air policing mission, which is a 24/7 guard, 24/7 duty to guard the Romanian and NATO sky. This air policing mission is a mission under NATO command. Have I ever had any challenges in my training? Of course I did. We all have better days and not so good ones. But I think the most important part is to learn from every mistake, to apply the lessons learned, and never give up. That's why, for example, the debriefing after a mission is such an important part in our profession. I think another question was about one of our most difficult moments. Probably the most difficult moment in my career was the beginning of my training on the F-16. So there I was. I flew the MiG-21 for 7 years. I took several qualifications. I had enough flying experience to be comfortable in the jet, to be in control, to have situational awareness. Then the MiGs were retired, and I started training on the F-16. Why was it difficult? Because from the experienced pilot I suddenly became a student again. and it was challenging. When I started the simulator training, I was horrified. I couldn't even fly a level turn. And that's nothing. It's a level turn. But the flight controls are different, and you had to get used with the new ones. I don't want to mention new systems, new emergency procedures, or new tactics. After several days of anger and frustration, I stepped back and I analyzed the situation. What's going on? I realized that I have to accept my new position as a student, that I shouldn't ask so much of myself because I was a beginner again. And I realized that all my colleagues were in the same situation. I talked with them, and all our feelings were the same. We accepted our new condition, and we started again to fly. Was it difficult? It was. Did I ever wanted to quit? Never. That's all. Thank you.
Ladies, I will come to you again with one short question and short answer. Please name one moment in your career when you felt honored and proud with what you are doing. Sorry. One moment.
Oh my God, there were
I
plenty
know
of
it's difficult.
moments. Because we are all attending an event related to the military, I would then say the moment I was promoted to the rank of quaestor by the President of Romania. That was indeed a distinct honor, being at that moment the only woman in the prison system being recognized for the professionalism without being part of the police academy family. That was quite an honor, I would say.
Madam?
Well, as I said, it is very difficult to define moments because there were plenty. But I can tell you that I'm very honored every day when I step into our course rooms and I talk in front of our students. I'm very honored when I take part in international conferences and fairs and I represent my university and my country. And not the least, I'm honored to be here.
Since we are talking about challenges, I really challenge you to name one. Vice Rector, please, the question is for you because you haven't answered. Yeah.
For me?
Yes. Yeah, you said many moments.
Yes.
And I need one because we are talking about challenges. This is a challenge.
Okay. So one, I think that it is basically gathering all the others when my son, who is going to be 18 soon, looks up to me and he says, "Mom, I just want to be like you."
Great. Moving to the police.
Well, we are at this conference, Women in Command, and women mean force and strength, but also mean emotional and vulnerability. So I think emotions are also a big strength for women. And in my career, I feel most honored when I do just a little part from someone's life, from a consumer's life, and I meet with him or her after a couple of months, and they told me that thank you for the words that I talked with them, and I see a difference in their life. So this is the most honored thing for me, to do a little good in someone's life. Thank you.
So in general, I'm proud and honored for my duty in Romanian Air Force, and I'm honored for my colleagues' duty. But I'm going to tell you a different and short story. Last year in December, I was invited as a guest speaker to an event. It was hosted by Leaders Foundation in Bucharest. The event was called She Leads Tomorrow, and it was dedicated for young girls, teenagers, high school and university. I delivered a speech and we had a session of questions and answers. And after several days, I received an email with so many messages from the girls with positive feedback. Some of them telling me that through my story, I gave them courage to follow their dreams. That's an amazing feeling. And I was so proud I could do an impact on someone. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ladies. Let's move to slide number 7, please. After this extraordinary dialogue, we understand that women can act as fundamental forces for leadership, conflict resolution, and promotion of peace at all levels. In these difficult times, inclusive and diverse leadership for women is needed to solve the complex challenges that decision makers face today in the relation with the security and defense sector. It is important to underline that women's empowerment makes violence less likely, and women increase operational effectiveness of security forces. As National Coordinator of Women, Peace and Security Agenda Implementation, I am presenting you the uniform female participation within the security sector at the end of 2024. Slide number 8, please. For increasing women's participation in decision-making process and promoting female leadership, we have launched the campaign She for Romania. The campaign targets female students and young professionals in the national defense, public order, and national security sectors who are at the beginning of their careers. The actions include activities such as conferences, seminars, and workshops featuring coaching, mentoring, sharing of best practices, and lessons learned, personal development, networking for professional references, and mutual support. The campaign coordination is the responsibility of Ministry of National Defense, which, through the National Focal Point, collaborates with representatives from the National Defense, Public Order, and National Security Systems, academia, national and international organizations, private sector, and civil society. To achieve the campaign objective, partnerships are established with organizations and institutions from civil society, academia, and private sector that can provide support in organizing and implementing the campaign and the WPS agenda in Romania. Basically, we invite extraordinary women to share from their professional and personal experience and talk about discipline, respect, team, mutual support, collaboration, perseverance, and professionalism. Our first workshop, She for Romania, took place in Alba Iulia at Mihai Viteazu National Military College, and please allow me to express our gratitude to the commander of this college. He was very, very interested in this project even from the beginning, and he wanted to start it from over there. Thank you, Colonel. We invited extraordinary women who have an exceptional background in different fields like military, police, penitentiaries, sports, and business to share their experience with 185 young students. At the end of the campaign, of the action, we asked their feedback. And I was impressed about their feedback. Immediately, they said, Colonel, we understood very clear. We need to work harder and we need to support each other much more. So that was our first campaign. Slide number 9. Distinguished audience, generals, ladies and gentlemen, that was our panel, Women in Combat, Women in Command. I personally thank you for your participation and for inviting us here. Thank you very much.
So now we well deserve a coffee break because today's schedule for the exhibition it's to be closed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We decided to make a bigger coffee break in order for you to offer maybe more time to pay a visit to the stands. So please don't forget to come back at 11:45 when we'll start the 5th panel. Yeah? Enjoy the coffee break and the exhibition. Thank you very much again.